Is Harmony 1 about to explode? Let's get on into it. So Chris, today we're going to be taking another cheeky look at Harmony 1, and specifically we're going to be taking a look at the price action of the one coin. Is this coin about to explode? Well, we're going to get into the technical analysis for Harmony 1. We'll have a look at the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart, and the 1-hour chart. It has been trapped inside a triangular wedge and things are looking like they're coming to an end. So as we get into this, if you find this video useful, informative, hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you'd like to learn more about those hidden gems and new cryptocurrencies, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free and you'll stay well informed, so why not? And Chris, before we actually get into the technical analysis, let's actually take a quick look at the Cheeky 1 staking pool.
Yeah, let's do it.
Recently, there's been a community vote for the Harmony 1 protocol, which actually affected the way that delegating would work, specifically more for the validators themselves than for you guys actually delegating. But one thing that was really important to just kind of make sure everyone was aware of was the number of slots that are now available. So we had a blip down here because I missed it by 24 hours, so apologies there. We had this unfortunate event where we slipped down to a 9.7% return rate. We did correct that yesterday. We got back to 11.3, but ultimately this is because we were only running 4 slots and now we can actually run a little bit more. So if we hop on over to this area here, this shows us the next election, which will happen in 952 minutes. And from here, we can see that actually there's 800 slots available, or seats, rather than the previous 640. This means that we can get more slots in or run more shards, and ultimately, try to increase the return rate for you guys that are delegating. So we're paying attention. We are making sure that we are effectively bidding, and we will be increasing our return rate as soon as we can. With this, we have got now, Chris, delegated to the pool 24.1 million One Harmony, which is just amazing. So really do appreciate all of that. And like we said earlier, I am going to make sure that we get the maximum return that we can from the delegated one tokens that we have in our pool, which is fantastic. Chris, anything else you'd like to add on the Harmony pool?
No, nothing to add, Nick.
Fantastic. Right, let's get right into this then. So this is Harmony 1 to the USDT. This is the daily chart and Binance is the data source. From here, we have that Fibonacci retracement tool on here that actually runs from our low level of the 11th of March through to the high that we achieved up here on the 29th of March. Okay, that was an 18-day run that saw 496% in gains. Since then, we've actually had a pretty healthy correction and nothing that really worried me too much. This was a correction down to the 786, the 702, the 618, and the 50% retracement. We didn't actually go down as low as the 382, which was quite fortunate. It is also, of course, one of the more common areas that you do end up chasing down to. We most recently have been consolidating on the 618 area. And as you can see here, guys, we have a downward trend line and an upward trend line. Both of these have verged together. That actually means that within the next few hours, we are more than likely going to see a bit of a breakup or a breakdown. The point of this particular video is to determine whether or not we're going to start seeing the Harmony 1 coin explode to the upside or potentially break down and find support at maybe the 50% retracement zone. As we get into this, let's see exactly what is going to potentially happen here with Harmony 1. Right, so with the Fibonacci, we can brief explanation as to what's been going on here. We have the downtrend, we have the upward trend, and we are now 130% away from our first price target. The first price target in this particular case comes in at 33.9 cents. And just looking down here, we can see how that 50 moving average, the 100 and the 200 moving averages are actually quite a significant way away from those particular candles where we are today. So that's not necessarily the best thing, but on the daily chart, not too bad. Now, what we can see here is the volumes have been decreasing over time and quite steadily so. We've been a decrease in volume has helped protect that price. Now, with this volume being as low as it is, that does need to change, and I think it's going to change quite dramatically in the next little while. we can see that the relative strength index is actually down at 51.74, with our blue line here coming in at 49.17. This blue line is an area that we were interested in because it's where we previously bounced from. We almost had a bounce on it here, and it looks like things are definitely gearing up, ready for that explosive move to the upside. Now what I'm going to do is pull this down into our 4-hourly chart, and from here we can see exactly what's going on with this triangular wedge. As I just expand that up for you, we are literally inside this this triangular wedge, and it is only really a few hours away before reaching that pivotal moment where one of these trend lines is going to succeed. We do have that 50 moving average acting as a bit of resistance currently, with the 100 moving average way above there. The 200 moving average, however, is actually acting as a bit of support and is floating around here just at the moment. Now, if we take a look at that volume, it is still decreasing over time, and even in the last 3 candles here in the last few hours, it has still been decreasing. So the volume does need to improve if we have a good attempt at taking this to potentially a new all-time high. Now, we can see that relative strength index is actually coming down at 49.7, and so 49.4 now, which is close to our 49.1. So things are looking pretty interesting here on that 4-hourly chart from a relative strength index. Loads of room to the upside. Now, what we're going to do is go ahead and throw this down into our 1-hourly view. And again, we can see how we are really kind of narrowing ourselves into that triangular wedge there. And we have got resistance at the 200 moving average and support at the 50 moving average. We can also see that we were quite high here as we're fighting the upper end of that downward trend. And we've come right back down towards our line here at 49.17. So things are looking interesting from the relative strength index point of view and from the candles point of view on the actual chart itself. We have got a relatively low volume. It has been decreasing still, and it hasn't been doing anything impressive at this point. So that has to change if we want this explosive action to actually start taking Harmony 1 to new all-time highs. Now, let's go ahead and pull this back into our daily view for a bit of a summary as to what we've just seen. I'll pull this down a little bit here. So we have got that downward trend and we have that upward trend. Those things are getting quite tight on the hourly and on the 4-hourly. It's only a matter of time, which should probably be today at some point, even maybe after you've watched this video, maybe even before we've watched this video, that explosive action should come in. I do not think that we'll end up correcting below that downward trend is going to succeed. I think ultimately the upward trend is going to be the winner here. I think we will see Harmony 1 explode to the upside, and I think we potentially are going to start seeing this action today. With that being said, there is still concern on that 4-hourly and hourly chart. Those RSIs, those relative strength indexes, are a little bit higher than I would normally like to see to get maximum kind of explosive action from a project. With that being said, we are in a bull market, so I am more inclined to say that we were expected to see swing to the upside than a breakdown to the downside. My major concern though, Chris, has to be that the volumes are still not spiking up yet. And without that volume, any potential run or breach of a downward trend line is just not going to last that long. So absolutely key that that volume starts spiking up within the next few hours if we are to expect a good run above the 618 into the 702 and potentially trying to get ahead of 18.5 cent. So lots to kind of think about here with Harmony 1. It's definitely looking very interesting. Things are definitely starting to heat up, but we really do need to see that RSI get a little bit deeper corrected on the hourly and the 4-hourly, with more volume coming in as we try to go ahead and breach that downward trend and push Harmony 1 to those new highs. And if we just have a brief look up here, we have said before we are 130% away from our first price target of 33.9 cent. After 33.9 cent, we are going to be looking for 52.6, followed by 71.3 and 82.8. So loads of potential here with Harmony 1. And I cannot wait to see this new all-time high get set. I really do like Harmony 1 as a project. I think this thing's going to be incredibly successful, and it'd be hard to think that this thing will not get to at least $2 during the 2021 bull run. But do let me know what your thoughts are in terms of price action in the comments below. Do you think Harmony 1 will get to $2, or do you even think it's going to go higher than that? Let us know in the comments down below. And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we sign this video off and get on with some more recording?
Yeah, just looking through the socials, there's lots of impatient people, worrying about the price and potentially selling their Harmony 1, and you've got to look at what's happened. The increase in price over the last few weeks. This is healthy. You've seen the same thing with Anchor, another project that went from a very similar price up to a very similar price, almost mirroring one another. This is to be expected, but it looks like that's coming to an end, and hopefully we're going to pop up to the upside. But I think people need to be patient. This isn't a get rich quick scheme.
Absolutely. It's a bit of a process, and fundamentals are great, but unfortunately, a lot of the fundamentals, utility, and use case doesn't really tend to affect price too much. If that were the case, then there are some absolutely fantastic projects that should be much highly ranked than they currently are. Unfortunately, it's more of a trader's game, and the technicals tends to be what drives a lot of the price action at the moment in this space. That I do believe will change, though, in due course. There are, of course, some fundamentals that do have a pivotal role when it comes to price action, such as some fantastic PR. With that being said, though, the traders tend to dictate the game here when it comes to trading cryptocurrencies. I do think that's going to change, and when it does, things in this space is going to change quite dramatically. But for now, we are where we are, and it definitely is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But with that being said, that is incredibly is an incredibly lucrative place to be if you're patient and you're willing to play the game that is currently before us. And with this being said, guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, then do go ahead and hit that like button. We really do appreciate it. And of course, if you want to stay up to date with those new cryptocurrencies and hidden gems that we talk about here at Cheeky Crypto, then do consider subscribing to the channel. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here at Cheeky Crypto. It is free and you'll stay well informed, so why not? And with all this said and done, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one.
Yeah, take care.